Hello, welcome to another Alpha Strike We Play video. My name is Adam.
And I'm Karen. Yes. Hey buddy.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, today we are going to be doing another BattleTech video and we are talking about Quad Mechs.
He's got a thing.
I
He's
like
in his head about Quad Mechs, so we're going to do this. We're going to get it out of the way.
I'm hoping you guys will have a thing for it as well when we're done.
By the time they're pretty damn awesome.
They are cool.
They're pretty damn awesome.
And I've got some in my collection, but I just don't seem to feel them as much. So just case in point. So it's a Bargus, which we'll just use as an example here.
Yeah.
But we will do a full review on mechs.
It's mainly so you've got something to focus on rather than us.
So they do actually make the miniatures. That one's from Iron Wind Metals.
And they're very cool.
They are
good
cool.
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
shall we start at the most important thing?
I think so.
So as long as your Quad Mech has all four legs intact, not destroyed, you get a -2 to all your piloting checks.
Now that's good for you.
That is good for me.
In particular.
It's good for a few people that I know because it means you're not doing this the whole time when you're trying to get up.
So if you guys are watching some of the other little... We did the scenarios from the box set.
Yeah.
And we had a few little
There was
accidents
a lot of
there.
flip-flopping and stuff. And a lot of that is... I mean, you take a butt ton of damage, you get a piloting skill roll. You miss a kick or you get kicked, you get a piloting skill roll. And that -2, when you're like full on into a game and you're doing all of this physical attack stuff and everything, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much because it's only 2, who cares? But that's a big deal.
Considering, I mean, the average pilot, 5 piloting generally when you play the game?
Yeah,
so
your base level guy is 5.
That's
pretty
pretty
sure.
cool.
That base BV is a 5 pilot, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got an effective pilot of 3 then, technically.
Yeah. Now, they would have factored that into the battle value for a Quad Mech, I'm sure. If you have
Presumably.
the construction rules, it's all in
Yeah,
there.
it'll all be in there. They'll have different bits and pieces, but still, if you've got a 5 piloting skill pilot in a normal everyday mech, then you're rolling with 5s plus your modifiers. But if you have it in a Quad Mech, technically you're rolling with a 3 plus your modifiers, as long as he's got all his legs.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference.
And speaking of piloting, there was another thing that they could do as well, which is stand up without having to do the check if all the legs are there.
If you've got all your legs, and that's an important distinction as well that they've made there, is no destroyed leg. As long as you don't have a destroyed leg, you don't have to make a piloting check to stand up. And I mean, you can have gyro hits, you can have hip actuators out, you can have all sorts of problems. But as long as all your legs are intact, you don't have to make the check to stand up.
Yeah, which is very, very cool.
That is very cool. That
Really
is
like that.
awesome.
Yeah.
And the other one was that kind of flows into that is they don't get the prone penalty. So normally you get a +2.
+2.
So normally, you'll get a +2 to shooting if you're shooting from the ground. So you're on the ground and you're going pow, pow, pow. You get a +2 to your target hit thing. But if you're doing that with a Quad Mech with all its legs intact and its hips.
Yeah.
So you have to have all 4 hips intact and all your legs intact. Then you don't get that +2, which is pretty cool.
Also very cool.
Yeah, so you can go like hold down on a hilltop and just like pew, 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 pew.
That's a lot of bonuses right now. So people are probably wondering, why aren't I taking like lots of Quad Mechs and things like that? And the answer is, well, you should take lots of Quad Mechs.
Yeah, just take all Quad Mechs.
But there are some penalties to them. So the first one is torso twist.
Like you can't do it.
No. Now, in a mass battle, when there's lots of opponents to pick from, if they're in the front, that's nice. You can take some pot shots. But if you're up against light mechs and you're, say, this guy, he's 75 tons or something like that. So 5'8" movement, that's not too bad. But yeah, those light mechs, if you lose initiative and they just keep getting into your backside, you can't torso twist, that's a problem.
And we've seen the sort of damage that like a Locust can do in that sort of situation.
Yeah.
I mean, our game with the Battlemaster thing, that Locust was tearing you apart if I'd have had another
Problem.
5 or 6 turns,
Yeah.
I probably could have done something there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Never before have I feared a light mech so much. That was
Light mechs are
pretty cool.
quality. They're good. I mean, if you run them straight up against an awesome, they're going to die. But if you use them properly, then they can cause some serious damage.
Yeah.
Serious damage.
Yeah. So that's something to sort of keep in mind when you're sort of going to field a quad mech.
The counterpoint to that one is that you can technically get them with a turret on them.
Yes.
And the turrets have a 360 spin, I'm pretty sure, most of them.
Yeah.
So if you're building your own quad mech, that would be the way to go, is to like put a turret on the top. And then the little light mechs that get behind you and you've got the ERPPC on there and you just go, oh, hello.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, for the basics, it's a downfall, definitely, the torso twisting.
But there are some more benefits, so it's okay. We can keep going with benefits.
We keep going with plus. We thought we'd throw an egg in there just for the naysayers, but yep.
So because it doesn't have arms, with partial cover it works a little different. Okay, so when you're behind partial cover, it protects your legs.
And it's got all legs.
It's all legs. So with a quad mech, if you hit what would technically be an arm location, it does have its own sort of hit location that's unique to quads. But anything that hits the legs when you're behind partial cover ignores that damage.
Yeah.
So get yourself behind a level 1 hill and you're
pop shot.
You're laughing.
Yeah. The only thing they can hit then is head and torso locations. And that's, I mean, and it doesn't transfer up, you don't roll again or anything like that. If a leg location is rolled, you ignore the hit.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Very cool. And another benefit, in water, you've got more legs, so more locations for your single and double heat sinks and things like that.
And if you do put them in the leg locations, then they all count as being in water.
Yeah.
So that will seriously increase your heat dissipation. So you could probably have quad mechs with a lot more high energy weapons if you were planning around that sort of thing.
So a quad mech that acts as a fire support, like an indirect fire LRMs and things like that, would be quite ideal.
Yeah.
Especially considering they also have this little cute ability called lateral shift when they move. this one I really really like.
Lateral shift.
This is cool.
It is good.
Normally a mech, if it wants to basically sidestep or do anything like change its direction, it has to change its facing, so that costs you movement, then move forward and then change back. So to move 1 hex and to keep the same facing, you're spending at least 3.
At least 3.
Yeah,
assuming
depending on
all the
what
hexes
your
are clear,
terrain is.
it costs you 3 movement to go from here to here.
Yeah. So with lateral shift, you spend 1 extra movement point, so 2 in total, again, assuming everything's clear, and you can move forward
and
to
one side.
to left or right.
Yeah.
So you can sort of pop out from behind cover if you need to.
And you can do that backwards as well, can't you?
Yes, so they can walk backwards and that sort of thing. So it's the same as a normal biped design, but with that lateral shift, especially in cities, it's really really handy because you
can do that sort of jinking sort of movement to get to where you need to go, and it does cut down the amount of movement points that you're using sometimes.
Yeah, I find it very very handy. It's a cute little ability. I like that. I'm
kind of liking the no standing up penalty actually.
Anything that stops dice rolling.
That's
absolutely.
It. The less dice rolling, the better. You do have the kicking and things, so you're because you don't have arms, you can't punch, obviously, or push, club, or axe, or any of the melee weapons that you can get on some of the more advanced mechs. You can only kick, but you can kick in the back arc.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
And it's also a piloting skill check rather than a gunnery skill check. So you still get that -2. You also get a -2 for your kick, but if you kick in the rear arc, you get a +1.
Yeah.
So you're looking at overall a -3. For a kick, you That's not bad, especially with like a 70-ton bar guess.
Absolutely, 14 points in your face from a kick.
Yeah,
I like that.
that would be nasty. Yeah, I mean you can't if you've got weapons on the rear legs. They don't normally mount weapons on the legs, I don't think.
No, there are a few designs. The Sirocco that has some ER medium lasers on its legs,
Okay,
but it's like a
I'll
big.
have to have a look.
It's like a big AT Walker from Star Wars.
Nice.
If you've never seen it before, it looks a bit like that. So it's quite cool, actually. but yeah, it has it
Quad
on
Mech
legs.
battle, yay!
But yeah,
I mean, obviously, if you want to kick, then you can't fire the lasers that are, or any weapons that are on those legs. But you do get some fairly cool modifiers to those. So I think the kicking is a good idea.
So as far as piloting checks and things like that, when it starts losing legs, there's a few little extra sort of things you have to be aware of.
So the first one would probably be that crit damage to the legs is all cumulative. So you're looking at like hip damage. You've got 4 hips, and you'll take a penalty for each hip.
Yeah.
Okay, so it adds up after a while. Trust me. I mean, you've still got your -2 piloting as long as none of those legs are destroyed.
Yeah.
You've only got like critical damage in them. So that kind of balances it out. But yeah, it's all cumulative. And then you've got penalties once the destruction begins. So once you start losing legs, you start having some serious problems.
So once you've lost a leg, you can't do your little lateral shifts and all that sort of thing, and you don't get your bonus to your piloting.
Yep.
But I think that's about it for the first one, is it?
You don't get your prone shooting.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
The penalty now applies.
Yeah.
You start having to actually roll your piloting skill to stand up. So yeah, you basically lose all of the cool little abilities that Quad Mechs have once you lose a leg. So it's worth getting into that cover and guarding your legs, because once you start losing them, you start having problems.
But considering the amount of armor that you can pack onto the legs of a, say, 100-ton BattleMech, it's going to take a while.
It'll take a while, but something like, was it Scorpion, the light ones?
So Scorpion's like 45 or something like
that?
Yeah,
they're only like a light to medium or something, aren't they? So yeah. You can't get a lot of armor onto those sort of legs. So if you're using a Quad Mech, guarding your legs is probably not a bad move, is the point. Yeah,
but there's a huge advantage to doing it, like we were saying before. Just the amount of locations on that table that are just not going to do damage to you. It's win. It really is win.
Yeah. So once you lose one leg, your hoopy stuff goes away. You don't have all your skills. But once you lose 2 legs, you basically count as a biped mech that's lost a leg.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. You go through the penalties and things. So they've got movement point penalties, they've got piloting skill penalties, they've got all of those sort of penalties. They all apply to a bipedal mech that's lost a leg. And they will apply to a quad mech that's lost 2 legs.
So it just sounds like just a little extra step that you sort of have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
But other than that,
It's not that hard to remember. And if you are someone who takes out a lot of quad mechs, then make yourself a little cheat sheet and just remember where you are and the sort of things that you're looking at. Make sure you make a note of the penalties and bonuses and all that sort of stuff, because you don't want to keep referring to the book. You just want to have your little thing that goes boom. That's how it works.
And the best way to do it is probably just to play lots of games.
Bloody hell.
Which is what we're going to start doing, I think. We're going to take some quads and just sort of take them for a run.
Well, we're going to do a leash. We've got to do a locust battle first.
That's right, actually.
We're going to do a locust battle first.
On Solaris or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking single map with bog standard locusts, and then we'll do another one with the variants.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway.
So yeah.
Quad Mechs.
So that's Quad Mechs. They're very cool. I like them. You know I like them.
Oh, I reckon they're pretty good.
They
I've
are.
just never gotten the hang of using them, but I think we may have to give this a crack. Well, I mean, the Locust was a comment. Somebody left us a comment saying fight the Locust, and I love it. I reckon we should do that. So, if you've got a favourite Quad Mech, and we'll maybe have a battle.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll have the minis, but we'll give it a crack.
I'm sure we can get hold of them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no worries.
All right, so that's it. So thank you very much, and yeah,
Go the Quad Mechs.
see you later.
Bye.